What's up, witches and ghouls? It's your boy, Spooky James. I put the ho in host. Welcome to the first episode of Fright Night Theater. Tonight, we're diving headfirst into a childhood classic with a spooky twist, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. So grab your favorite snacks, dim down your lights, and embrace yourself for a journey into the darkest depths of the 100-acre woods. I will say the one thing about this film that I really enjoyed was the beginning of the film, actually, with this beautiful, like, handwritten kind of animation style with the narrator telling us basically the intro, telling us the story of how Christopher met his friends.
Deep in the 100-acre woods, a young boy named Christopher Robin came across some most unusual adolescent creatures. Crossbreeds, who some would describe as abominations.
Yeah, you heard that. Crossbreed. So when I first heard that, my two options was, right? You have some mad scientists out in these woods making these weird human looking animal things like Pooh Bear. Or option two, which is I don't know which one is worse. Is there a dude out here fucking a bear? Then we have Winnie the Pooh. What?
Food, and with each passing day together, their bond strengthened and grew. Eventually, Christopher had to make the hard decision to leave his friends to attend college, to become a doctor. Winter arrived. The nights were deathly cold, the land barren and completely devoid of food. One fateful night, on the brink of starvation, Pooh decided that in order to survive, the group must consume one of their dearest friends. And thus, Eeyore was no more.
You heard that right, my dear viewers. Our beloved gang, in a desperate bid to survive, turns to cannibalism, with poor Eeyore tragically falling victim to their primal urges. I guess you could say they took eating your feelings to a whole new level. 5 years has passed, and guess who returns to the 100-acre woods? We're guessing our boy Christopher. You are correct. Excuse me, Dr. Christopher. And he's not alone. He brought his wife, aka fiance, Mary. Don't ask why I'm saying Mary like that. Somebody who's watching most likely will understand. And if you play video games, you might understand as well.
You know, you're the first person I ever shown this place to.
Oh, and why am I so special?
Why are you so special?
Hmm?
Oh, well, that is because soon we'll be Christopher and Mary Robin. I don't want any secrets between us, and I certainly don't want you to think I'm crazy.
I don't think you're crazy, Chris.
No, Chris, I don't think you're crazy. I just think you're BFF with a humanoid bear that talks and lives in the woods. So you have Christopher basically trying to tell his fiance that he's not crazy and that he didn't make up the stories about Pooh Bear and the gang. And fiance basically says it's okay to have imaginary friends when you're young.
Do you think I made up those stories?
No, I don't think you've made it all up.
Okay, so you believe me? You believe they exist?
Well, I didn't say that. You were very young, and your imagination ran wild. And over the years, you've convinced yourself of it.
They exist, Mary. I couldn't have made all of this up.
You don't need to be ashamed of that. Lots of people have imaginary friends as children.
They're not imaginary, Mary.
So Chris and Mary finally made it to their destination, which looks like a shithole, and they basically ignore the red flag that is the cardboard sign that says Eeyore rest in peace with a human fucking skull on it. So Chris and Mary goes into Pooh's house, and they find a drawing, I'm assuming, because they don't really show us. But whatever it is freaks Mary and our boy Chris out enough where they want to leave, and then before they could leave, Pooh Bear shows up, and they have to camp out in this hide for looks like 12 hours. After it looks like some time, Chris and Mary finally decide to escape. While Pooh, takes his power nap. So, his hand behind looks like a truck. And out of nowhere, Piglet comes with a chain. And he was like, choke me like you hate me, but you love me. And then, our boy Chris is, instead of fighting this damn pig, bro, throwing some hands. He's like, no, Piglet. Please stop, Piglet. Please stop. Please don't kill my wife. Bruh, this is the worst fucking relationship goals ever. So, after Piglet kills Mary, and our boy Chris does absolutely nothing, he runs away like a coward, and he sees his best friend in the world, Pooh Bear. He's like, Pooh, help, Piglet, something's wrong with Piglet, he just killed my wife. And all I could think about watching this, right, was, what the fuck do you think is about to happen, Chris?
Please, I'm begging you. I would have never left, I swear. We used to play together as friends.
After begging and begging, please, we were friends, blah, 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 they basically dragged his ass off into the woods, killed our boy Chris. Rest in peace. So we meet Maria, who is our main character of the film, who is talking to her therapist about going on a holiday to the countryside, which would help her. It is later revealed in a scene with her and her friends that Maria has a stalker, and basically he's peeping through her windows.
Peered through the curtains. Just saw these eyes staring straight at me. And when I screamed, he just ran off.
Even breaks into Maria's house when she is sleeping and basically gets in bed with her and tries to take her top off, which was, ooh. So Maria and her pals decide to book an Airbnb stay in the 100-acre woods. Yep, you heard me right. The same 100-acre woods. Talk about setting yourself up for more trauma. So we meet Maria's friend Tina, who basically looks like the Wish.com version of Lindsay Lohan. Or Kim Possible, to be honest. Wander into the woods in search of a better reception, because nothing said smart move like venturing into the creepy forest alone by yourself. Who does she run into but our good pal Winnie the Pooh, who is literally a fucking track star apparently now. He a runner, he a track star. Tina, bless her heart, decides to hightail it to the nearest building, which is a warehouse-like building for safety and protection. And the horror logic is the building's going to keep you safe and not trap you like a wild animal. What, viewers, what do you think will happen next to our girl Tina? If you guess, who does what any self-respecting horror villain would do, and he rips her shirt off, because apparently you can't have a horror film without the most random scenes of nudity. So Winnie Pooh bashes Tina's head in a couple times, and then finally throws her lifeless body into the wood chipper, which we get to see the beautiful CGI blood that looks so realistic that it could probably be made in paint. So we find out later our boy Chris is still alive, and Pooh Bear is about to do a little BDSM with the whips and chains. So the next scene we have is Maria's influencer friend is taking a ton of photos of whatever, trying to look good for Instagram. And then she started looking through her photos to see which ones she's gonna post to get all the new followers. And what does she notice? Our boy, Winnie the Pooh photobombed her. After seeing that Pooh Bear has photobombed her, she gets out of the hot tub and tries to turn on the light next to the porch, I guess. And basically it's like, are you Maria Stalker? Blah, blah, blah. You're not going to ruin my fun. And all I could think was like, why are you dumb? Just run. Just run away or tell somebody. Or even if it is Maria Stalker, get out. Leave.
Are you stalking Maria?
Whatever. You're not ruining my holiday, you fat freak.
After fat shaming Winnie the Pooh, she gets back in the hot tub. And Winnie was like, how dare you? And Piglet's like, yeah, don't you dare, this is my friend. So they just keep moving up slower and slower. And they finally just like knock her ass out with chloroform, I'm assuming. And then she wakes up hogtied on the pavement of the driveway, which I thought was gonna be Piglet gonna hit her with a sledgehammer, Triple H style, and I was like, ooh. But nope, it was Winnie the Pooh in a car, runs her head over. After hearing the blood-curdling screams of their friends, they rush to find her dead under the tire, and in panic, they dash inside to only be greeted by a chilling message in blood: get out.
Come here.
It doesn't feel right, Marie. Why is the door left open like that? What is that? Marie, come on! Marie, we've got to get inside! Maria! We need to go. There's... Zoe.
After meeting up with her friends, the lights go out and they look over to a door and they see who? But Winnie the Pooh with a whole ass machete. So after panicking, two of the girls decide they're going to go to the kitchen and get a weapon. One comes back with a hammer, which I don't think is going to do a whole lot. And then they decide it would be a great idea to split up. Have you guys never watched Scooby-Doo? That is never a good idea. Then we find out Maria has a gun.
Let's go. I've got to go upstairs. Yeah. I've got to go upstairs.
Which makes zero sense to me since this is based in the UK and they have some of the strictest gun laws in the world. How did you get a gun? So Maria heads upstairs to search for her gun, which is a giant revolver, which looks something like straight out of Red Dead. So while Maria is looking for her gun, her two other friends decide to check out the pool area for whatever reason. And surprise, Piglet slaps one of the girls, knocks her out, and the other girl happens to trip over her own feet and fall right into the pool, which I was like, how? Yelling at Piglet to leave her friend alone, Piglet turns his sight onto her and starts slapping the water with the chain, and then he starts getting into the pool with the sledgehammer, and she is having the hardest time to get away, but he is walking in this pool with the sledgehammer, and all I could think was, stand up, ma'am, stand up. And he finally catches her and he Triple H styles hit her in the head with the sledgehammer. So Maria and her friend finally makes it to the poolside to only see one of their friends dead in the pool and the other friend being kidnapped by Pooh Bear and Piglet. So they decide to follow them. So you're probably wondering, since they have a gun, why don't they shoot them?
Are you sure I shouldn't just shoot them? Alice is close and you might hear them. Let's follow them for now. And we'll find an opportunity soon.
To be honest, if I'm ever in a situation and my friends are thinking, should we shoot the monster-looking pig and bear? But we might hit James. Hit me. I think I'd rather die from a gunshot than being mauled to death by a man-bear pig. After some time, they finally free their friend from the ropes, decide to start heading out. But that when they heard screams for help. And of course, our survivors had to investigate. And guess who they found? It's our boy Chris. He's still alive. He chained up and they finally freed him. And then guess what? They heard another scream for help. So Chris basically says, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Go save the other lady. So they go investigate. And instead of untying her right away, one girl's like, my God, what happened to you? Blah, blah, blah.
What happened to you? Pooh, Piglet. Why? I don't understand. What's Pooh and Piglet? That's what they call themselves. They're just these disfigured creatures. Half pig.
Basically tells the Piglet and Pooh can speak in Brooklyn English, and every time she tries to speak to Piglet, he would maul her face. So they finally untie her, and she looks in the window and sees her messed up face, which basically makes her break down, screaming, angry at Piglet. Stole Maria's gun. Maria, hold on to your weapon. What in the hell? And basically started yelling for Piglet to come out for a showdown of revenge. And she shoots the gun, and he finally shows up, and the music is epic. It looks like they're about to have an epic showdown.
There you are, Piglet. To me. How come so again?
Pooh throws her to the ground, pour honey on her face, and Piglet mauls her to death. Two of the girls running away. One girl stays behind, and when Piglet gets up to walk past to go to the other two girls, she knocks him out with his own sledgehammer, ties him up. So while she has Piglet all tied up, Maria is being chased by Pooh Bear, who is running through the woods, and looks like he lost her. And then you heard the squeals of Piglet, who got hit in the head with a sledgehammer. So he comes back to seek revenge on his fallen friend by stabbing the girl through the mouth with a knife. So Maria and her friend are running again, and they finally find a car with what I would, I guess, call the UK version of rednecks, who are like, yo, what's wrong? Are you on drugs? What's happening? And that's when I want to say rednecks see Pooh Bear, and are like, yo, are you been hassling this girl? What have you been doing to these girls? And they basically get around him, start attacking Pooh Bear with these weapons, you know, with a crowbar, a baseball bat, and one dude hits him in the back of the head with a glass bottle, which shatters, and Pooh Bear just turns around and just slaps half this man's face off. And then the next guy in the flannel tries to do something, and he catches his hand and chops his hand off, and then curb stomps this dude. And then the next dude, he just like slices his throat. Of course, the last guy runs for his life, but Pooh Bear, who I guess can control bees now, killed him with the bees. If you're wondering, not once in the film did it ever show or tell us that this motherfucker can control bees like Candyman. After seeing everyone get murdered, start driving the truck, hits Pooh Bear with it, who ends up climbing on the back of it. Marie hits the brakes to try to basically hit him off the car, but she hits too hard and hits herself and knocks herself out cold. So Maria wakes up to her friend being dragged out of the car. What we see next is Winnie the Pooh throwing Maria's friend's decapitated head at the windshield. So Winnie the Pooh drags Maria out of the car, and right before he stabs her, we hear something. That's right, it's our boy Chris. He pins Winnie the Pooh between two vehicles, and he gets down to try to help Maria. And guess what? Like every horror villain, he ain't down. Like any good horror trope, our heroes here trip and fall because two cars blow up. Winnie the Pooh grabs Maria, and Chris begging and begging, telling Pooh, take me instead.
Let her go. No. I'll stay with you forever. Take me instead.
When I tell you, when I first heard this bear say, you left. So that was the end of the film, and these are my final thoughts about the movie. I feel like this film took itself way too serious. Like, I was hoping for more of a fun, campy type of horror film, since, you know, it is about Winnie the Pooh. I was really hoping for some cool kills, like maybe a honey pot over the head, or some use of a shotgun, or something more creative than what we got. I didn't really feel like anything about this film was Winnie the Pooh related. It was like they used the name. They had some generic mask that's supposed to look like Winnie the Pooh, but it looked like Shrek if he had too many plastic surgeries. And Piglet looks like Pumbaa from The Lion King. This film definitely felt like it was rushed out and more of a money grab. More to be served as the first horror film with the title Winnie the Pooh than an actually good horror film. The director has already publicly said that he wants to make a cinematic universe based off all public domain characters that you loved growing up as a kid, like Peter Pan and Bambi. And after watching this movie, I am not 100% sure how I feel about this. Maybe the sequel will be better. Hopefully they have a bigger budget, because yes, I said sequel because number 2 is coming out. And there you have it, my fellow creatures of the night. Our first ever episode of Fright Night Theater has came to a close. Until next time, my ghouls, stay spooky, stay curious, and above all, embrace the darkness with kindness. Don't forget to like, share, comment down below what films or shows you'll like to see me sink my teeth into next. Whether it's a classic horror flick or a hidden gem waiting to be unearthed, your ideas will help shape the future of Fright Night Theater.